First week of January 2026. The energies are gathering, and there are some things that your spirit guides want you to know to set you off to a great start of the new year of 2026. Let's begin by first setting an intention while you have the opportunity to meditate on the cards. Welcome. Crafting the sacred space. I'm connecting into my sacred self and the wisdom of my sacred self through all existing lifetimes, both the past, the present, and the future coming together in this now moment. Connecting into my spirit guides, my ancestors, my beloved dead, and my own subconscious terrain. Calling forth the spirit guides of this community. Connecting into the goddess Freya, asking for her assistance in guarding and protecting the space and my being, as well as to act as a messenger between the spirit guides of this community and myself. Activating and enhancing my psychic abilities and my mediumship abilities in a capacity that is honoring my vessel at this time in order to give accurate messages. Connecting into the spirit animals of moose, of goose, and of beaver. I set the intention to give clarity, wisdom, and truth through these messages, and that I channel these messages in a clear, concise, loving, and impactful way, and in the true mark of the emotional manifestor energy type, in order to initiate the consciousness and the inner emotional terrain of this community. I pray that these messages are for the highest good of all beings and Earth in its entirety. Let it be so. Thank you. Let's begin the readings. Message number 1. Welcome to your reading. I'm happy to have you back here today with this reading where we will find out some more information about the first week of January. This is a video that has been prompted by my spirit guides because there is some importance in the energies that are gathering during this first week of January. So this reading is quite important, but it will be a short and potent one. So the questions for this reading are something your guides want you to pay attention to during the whole first week of January. And then the next and last question will be how they would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year through this first week of January. And at the bottom, we will see the workings of the unconscious mind throughout this week, and perhaps even some risks of self-sabotage. And there will be no key takeaways at the end of this reading, because this is supposed to be short, succinct, to the point, and precise, as it is. And I'm running low on energy today. So, but this was the day I was supposed to record, so there's a reason here. But I won't be... They said that they won't be opening up my gift as much today. So, we'll see how this turns out. Either way, you will be walking away with some messages from Spirit that will be helpful for you during this first week of January. There's something here about how this sets the tone for the rest of the year quite potently. There's like a gathering of energy somehow. So what is something your guides want you to pay attention to during the whole first week of January? And I'm actually going to switch deck. What is something that your guides want you to pay specific attention to during the whole first week of January? Soulmate in reverse. And I will be clarifying with a tarot card here. Knight of Wands. And then the next question, how your guides would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year. How would your guides like you to shape the trajectory of this new year? A new life in reverse. With Six of Wands and the Three of Wands in reverse. That was in reverse. So there is a relationship that is showing you a mirror of some sort, holding up a mirror to you. And it has something to do with your facade, is what I'm hearing. So this person could be getting you angry or hurt or disappointed, or you could be irritated with the actions of this human being. But this is the point of this is to show up a mirror for you about how you treat yourself, the facade that you are putting up to your surroundings, because there's something in your facade that you're supposed to strip bare or release, get rid of, no longer depend on. Like there is some sort of safety around putting up this sort of facade. And it can mean many different things, but the key is to look at what is triggering here with this person. And it could be multiple persons as well, but there is a pattern. There is a pattern here. And the important thing is for you to look at the pattern, look at what gets you upset, and then analyze it. And there's something here with the Knight of Wands. It's how they are doing things, how they are saying things that tells you something about a facade that you are perhaps not even aware of. So that is something that they want you to pay attention to during this first week of January. Now, let's see here. I'm referencing the question here. How would your spirit guides like you to shape the trajectory of this new year? We had new life in reverse, and Six of Wands and Three of Wands in reverse. So what's coming to me here with this question is taking a step back and focusing on winning the battles of here and now, more as a symbol. It's about not stretching too far right now, but focusing on getting what's the word that they're trying to point me towards? It's something about mastering the level where you're at. And because we have wands here, this probably has to do with business, career, creative projects, most likely. So perhaps you want something that's far-reaching, far away, and that's all right. It's all right to build up to that. But the message here is to take it slow, take a step back, bring in your energy a bit, and focus on building on what you have here and now, and not hurrying away, looking at the horizon too early, at the too early stages of this. So perhaps you are wanting to venture into a new thing and you're looking way ahead and several years into the future. And this is more about coming back in your vision, in your action to the here and now. Because there's something here about where that you are a bit inexperienced and you need to get common ground before you evolve and build on that. So it's accepting that you are new or inexperienced, and making the most of it right now. So at the bottom cards we have Thinker in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So I believe that this is speaking about this endeavor of the wands, and there is a tendency here to get very much into your head and perhaps analyzing, worrying, stressing on future plans, what the future of this will bring to you, how you will climb forward. And this is coming from a space of fear, essentially, because it's something that is not known to you as of yet. And so the mind tends to want to grapple it, want to control, and it starts to think and analyze and worry and stress about a future that has not even been built just yet. And when we do that, we tend to make choices and do things that we wouldn't do with a sober mind, with a calm and relaxed mind, because the mind is panicking. So try to relax the mind, try to relax yourself and ground yourself. Come more into the present moment. If your head starts to spin around work, career, projects, etc., and where you will be and where you want to go and things like that. Come back here and now and work on what's here and now. Okay, and that is all for today's reading. I thank you so very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you another time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Message number 2. Welcome to your reading, where you will gain some information about the first week of January 2026. This is a reading that has been prompted by my spirit guides. There is some intensification of energies during this first week, and how we propel that into the future, the sort of trajectory that we set out for the rest of the year, also I have been told. So today we have a short reading. We will ask for something your guides wants you to pay specific attention to during the first week of January, and then the next and last question will be how they would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year of 2026. And from the bottom, we will see the workings of the unconscious mind and where there is some risk of self-sabotage during this week, first week of January. And I'm operating with quite low energy today, but I was being told to record today. So they haven't opened up my gifts as much, but we will receive what we need to receive, and so there will not be any key takeaways either, because this is supposed to be short, succinct, and to the point, so no key takeaways necessary. So just referencing the first question here again. What is something that your guides want you to pay attention to during the first week of January? And they're asking me to draw 2 cards. It's twofold. They're saying it's twofold. So for the first card we have soulmates in reverse. Message number 1, receive this as well, if this says anything to you. And chop wood in reverse. Only reversals so far in this video today. That's interesting. And that says to me that this is a time to really slow down and think things through, sort of like retrograde energy. So I will clarify with tarot. And I'm wondering if these two, they're linked, is what I'm hearing. They are linked, these 2 cards, these messages in these 2 cards. So clarifying soulmates, we have death in reverse. And chop wood is clarified by the word in reverse. A lot of reversals. Really a lot of reversals. So the next question is, how would your spirit guides like you to shape the trajectory of this new year of 2026? all that glitters. Clarifying with tarot. Wheel of Fortune and the Tower in reverse. And at the bottom we have Poised and Nine of Swords in reverse. I think it's a record in reversals for this reading today, most definitely. So what your guides want you to pay attention to during the first whole week of January is the connections that you surround yourself with. There are some lingering ties and connections and relationships that I feel that you are aware of doesn't ring true to you. You have outgrown them, or there's something that isn't quite reaching the standards that you have for relationship or want to have. However that looks like for you, and there is a resistance in letting those connections go, but staying in that energy, staying in that old energy is keeping you in your old life, in an old loop. When it's time to get out of a sort of stalemate and build anew, make a new fresh start, and make sure that things are happening that you want to see in your world, that you want to build in your world, in whatever area is applicable for you. So this lingering in connections is keeping you stuck. And I feel like this is mostly energetic, that there are people that you may not even be in that much contact with, but it's a lingering in your energy or in your mind or something, not quite letting go when it's time to really actually cut the ties. And you will know if this is right for you, and you will know the relationships that this is about, where you feel that the connection is sort of dead, and perhaps it has offered you something at some point, and it has felt like a strong bond, but it feels it's not vibrating with life when you see each other. It's just it feels like a sort of a dead space where nothing can grow really, and it's just keeping you back in an old loop here. So that is what they want you to pay attention to, and especially when it comes to the thoughts that you're having. And if you tend to go back to old memories with these people and try to cut the bond and the tie there in the mind, and make a wake-up call for yourself when you start to perhaps romanticize the relationship. Get honest and truthful about where you actually stand and how this is not giving you what you're looking for in your relationship right now. Because you are meant to grow further, and I feel like you have already outgrown these relationships. So that's something to pay attention to when you revisit these connections and perhaps feeling even guilt or shame around having these thoughts, or feeling guilt or shame for not reaching out. Remember, you have to remind yourself that this is a connection that can't blossom anymore. It has run its due. So what it has given you in the past, it can't give you no longer, because you are a changed person, and perhaps that person is as well. So, and you are meant to go to places and do things where you're in need of a different support and a different energy, and your soul knows that as well. Now, how your guides would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year. We had All That Glitters with the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower in reverse. I just feel like don't try to reinvent the wheel here this year. You know what works. Stick to that. And I don't mean these old relationships, because they are obviously not working anymore, the ones that we speak of here. But I feel like there could quite possibly be an area in your life where you are tempted to look in a different direction, to something new. It's the sort of novelty of it that perhaps catches your eye. But there's more to where you're at the moment. They don't want you to change the trajectory dramatically. Work with what you already have, perhaps tweak a bit. I'm wondering if this pertains to... This is probably something material. Let's be honest and real with that. So perhaps you are looking to move into a different country, or move into a new house, or seeking a totally different job, changing career. This is about you have gained the knowledge already. You already know what you want and what you need from that specific area of your life that you're looking to change dramatically. And you might be tempted by that. But stick to what you got, stick to what is working. Actually, I believe that this tower perhaps wasn't in reverse. It's hard to tell sometimes with this tower card. The solution and the answer here is not to start over again with something completely new, but working with what you've got, perhaps tweaking it, perhaps going back to something even, but it's not something completely new. So stick to your guns, or whatever the saying is. Don't be led astray by superficial temptation, the sort of bling of the novelty here. Now, as for the bottom images, we had the Nine of Swords and Poised, which is the workings of the unconscious mind, and where there could be a tendency towards self-sabotage during this first week of January. This is essentially your mind downplaying your capability and your self-confidence. And so this could be a reason as to why you're looking to something new, for example, or why you want to stick to your old relationships, because there could be a thorn or a rift in your belief in yourself, and in your capabilities, but that doesn't reflect the truth. So that's something to be very, very aware of. So whenever you recognize that sort of loop in your mind, especially at the beginning of this year, of not being or doing enough in specific circumstances, try to talk yourself out of it and be objective about what you actually are capable of, and look at evidence to back you up. Look at evidence from your life, for example, friendships. Do you have an experience with actually being very good with people? So that's an evidence that you can be confident in meeting new people and gaining new friendship. Or if it is work, have you received a lot of acclaim or positive feedback from your bosses or your co-workers? Have you been satisfied with the work that you have done and achieved? Well, that's your proof, that's your evidence of your capability, that you can have and feel some self-confidence from this. And that is all for today's reading. I thank you so very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you another time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Message number 3. Welcome to your reading. That will be about the first week of January. Some things that your spirit guides want you to know. So I feel that like there is this clustering of energies at the beginning of this new year. It's a gathering of and a density of energy, and your guides, the guides around us, wants us to project ourselves into this new year in a beneficial way. So this is what this is for. And so the questions for today are something your guides want you to pay attention to during the whole first week of January. So paying specifically attention to this, and then how your guides would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year of 2026. And these are all the questions, and at the bottom we will see the workings of the unconscious mind and where there is a sort of risk of self-sabotage during this first week of January. So let's begin. I'm running very low on energies today, so I won't be open up with my gifts as much today. So this will be more so just decoding the cards. So what is something that your guides want you to pay specific attention to during the whole first week of January? So they want you to pay attention to two things. You could be coming from message number 2 here. We have all that glitters and come to the edge. and I will clarify with tarot. So, clarifying these two cards, we have the Sun and the Three of Swords in reverse. And I will ask the next question before I sort of decode these messages. So, how would your spirit guides like you to shape the trajectory of this new year of 2026? We have why. And I'm going to clarify that as well. Nine of Cups in reverse, and at the bottom of these decks we have Young in reverse and the Page of Swords. So what your guides want you to pay specific attention to during this first week of January is I'm not sure if this is the right saying. I will have to look this up later, and if I keep it in the editing, it's correct. But it's about not selling yourself short, essentially. And so it's important here that you do not settle for surface level wants, what you think that you want, that will give short-term or quick reward or satisfaction, but coming to the edge of what feels comfortable and what feels doable, what feels reachable. Because there's something else, something deeper that your soul wants to express and to explore. And I'm feeling that this can portend to relationships. So, for example, not settling for a specific kind of friendship, when you are looking for and yearning for something very expansive and something very specific, but you want friendship, so you're in a bit of a hurry to get it. So that's sort of something to look out for, to not settle with the quick fix, with the surface level wants. But letting that deep set desire and longing to bloom out from inside of you when it's time. And perhaps it's not the right time during this first week of January. Or perhaps you have an inkling, but it's not the right time for it to come into fruition at that point. And so there's no need to hurry here. But take your time to expand your vision of what's possible in the specific area that is relatable to you here. And how you will know this is a sense of urgency with something, like wanting to quickly get to your dream career, or quickly get into a romantic partnership, or quickly wanting to receive a lot of money, or quickly wanting to engage in community, and looking for ways to receive that instantaneously. So that's where the area where you will see that there's something deeper here that wants to be explored, and it will need some maturity. And so have patience with that. Okay, so that's the thing to look out for. And we had the Three of Swords in reverse here as well. I just wanted to say something about this. There are limitations here in this area because of things that has occurred in the past. And so that has set sort of boundaries around what you're dreaming about, of what you think is possible for you. And so that is why it's important to not settle for this superficial quick fix, because you are meant for something deeper, something more fulfilling, something more lasting, essentially. But that's where that comes from. And it can be anywhere in the past, from childhood and perhaps reinforced through adolescence and adulthood, or it could be more recent. But moving on here, we have how your guides would like you to shape the trajectory of this new year. And we had why and Nine of Cups in reverse. I think I need to sit with this for just a moment. Yeah, there's something about peeling back. I feel like you need to carve out space around you for that true desire to really show itself to you. And you will recognize it as a more of a softness and perhaps a knowing in the mind, or knowing, full body knowing. It has a different tone to it when you think about it, and when you feel into it. It's more soft, it's more peaceful, it's more pleasurable, it's more obvious, like it's clear, it's clarity coming, and you're not questioning it because you know. And that's when you reach the essence, the core of your desire and your wants and your needs. And your guides want you to peel back all the layers to this core, so that you start this new year building your life with things that supports this core vision, this core dream or desire of yours, so that you won't have to go through the process of giving in energies into something that is not sustainable for you, and then having to move through endings again. So this is very intentional. This is a very intentional year for you, building with intention. And at the bottom here we had Yang in reverse and Page of Swords. So the workings of the unconscious mind is this sense of urgency, and perhaps a shallow belief, belief that you have to have it all figured out by now or by the beginning of the year, you know, setting goals and setting intentions and such. But the soul and the body is not bound by time in that way. It has its own rhythm, it has its own inner timing and its own clock, and it has to move through certain processes to get to that point. So this is about not freaking out or panicking and forcing a vision upon yourself, or forcing a way of being and living, forcing yourself into a direction, but leaning back into more curiosity. If you're going to use your mind in an intense way, in a directed way, use it to foster your curiosity. Get curious about things, get excited and open-minded about things. And this is how you can sort of focus or direct this yang energy in a helpful way for you at this time. And I'm hearing that is all for today's reading. I thank you so very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you another time. Take care, everyone. Bye.